Bulvinaka, guys!
I'm your host, Gloria,
And I'm your host, Cheryl, and
and
welcome
welcome
back
back to
to
Beyond
Beyond
the
the
Reef.
Reef. Okay, guys, so this episode is a little different. We've decided that at the end of the month, we
Mm-hmm.
will be using our last episode to reflect on
Yeah.
the past 3 episodes
Mm-hmm.
that we filmed so far, and we think that it's pretty good for us,
Yeah.
to look back at all the different stories that we've shared, especially with our guests, and reflect over it.
Yeah.
Because one thing that we've learned over the past few episodes that we all have
Like
something in
common.
common,
Yeah.
with the similar struggles that we all do have. So for the first one, we've identified that we all um, face loneliness when we
Mm.
first moved to the United States,
Yeah.
and I would say, like, when I
Especially. Yeah.
when I first moved here to the United States, that it was pretty lonely, and then
Mm-hmm.
I picked up on that as well when we had the last episode with Jojo. You know how we go through this phase of depression. We're always question
Isolating
yeah
ourselves.
isolating ourselves. We're questioning our decisions as to whether we made the right choice
Mm-hmm.
to move, whether we should move back home. Missing relatives because we're so caught up with going straight into school, straight
Mm-hmm.
into work. We still haven't found ourselves yet,
Mm.
and it's just this very overwhelming uh feeling
Feeling.
of, like, of loneliness.
Yeah.
So because of that, I would say that it's not discussed enough.
Enough.
It's
Yeah.
not discussed enough within our families, within our communities, and we can
Because
tell
yeah, and
that.
people would like expect
Mhm,
us like as soon as you move to the States, like it's like an exciting
yeah.
opportunity. That the struggles that we face through like are not the issues that are brought up
Yeah.
so easily.
hmm And because I would say, because we are so caught up with with work, with
Mm,
school, we often forget that we do have these struggles, and
mm.
then one day, just it all, like,
Just
it
it'll
all blows
just
up, it all
bombard
comes
you.
out,
It'll just boom.
Yeah. So because we've identified that we all go through these things,
Mm-hmm.
um we we want to know, like, what causes them, like, what
Yeah.
causes this feeling of loneliness. So, like, when we had our past three episodes, like, for mine, I would say it was because, like, I was isolating myself, like, a
Mm.
lot, with the Jaden and with Navi. They when with new to school,
Mm.
they it was hard to start making
Yeah.
friends,
Like navigating through like a whole new
yeah,
system.
a whole new system, trying to fit in,
Mm.
finding themselves, especially. And with Jojo, it was pretty different because he moved here without family, and he does have family
Mm.
here, but they're all the way in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's very different. And, like, for Gloria, like, in high school, it's pretty difficult, trying to find yourself
Mm.
here, and
Trying to fit in
yeah,
with
trying to fit
a
in
lot
and
of
stuff.
things.
So it's loneliness is like a huge, like, contributing factor when it comes to what is this, with
Like the struggles
the
you
struggles that
face.
you face here when moving over, is, like,
Mm.
like, Pacific Islanders, like. And because of this, we we want to be able to find something that we can use to
Yeah.
cope with, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. And because we've identified that we go through loneliness, with this, we found that, like, for example, my
Mm-hmm.
dad, he has, like his community,
Yeah. Yeah.
so when we first moved here, I didn't think that we'd have so much support
Mm.
from the Maristol Boys community here in the United States, because you're moving over, you don't know anyone else, but we had such, like, a huge, uh, I don't even know how to say this, but, like, it was like this village.
Village.
You had your, like, like, we had our own village, and it was amazing because, till this day, they're still by our side. They
Mm-hmm.
show up for Thanksgiving, they show up for birthdays, they show up
Yeah.
you know for everything during
Mm-hmm.
funerals. They're always there, and I would say that's how we got over, like,
Support.
we got our
Yeah.
support, and we got over that feeling of loneliness very quick, especially my parents, because we always had, someone to lean on. We
Mm-mm.
could always, count on each other. We always leaned on each other, especially during, hard times. And, we have other communities as well, like, we have communities like with the ACS community,
Mm.
with St. Joseph. And mind you, for those of you that don't know, these are schools that are, back home in Fiji. that have created their small communities overseas. You have some in the UK, you have some
Mm.
in Australia,
Yeah.
and they meet up
Mm.
weekly,
Get
monthly. They get
togethers.
together and then they support the schools back in Fiji. They
Mm.
support students, and that's their way of coping.
Mm.
They meet up and they bond
Yeah.
over their school,
Yeah.
and it's their pride and joy.
And just recently there was like kind of Kandaviala
A
Day.
Kandavu
Yeah.
Day, proud Kandavu girls over here. So things like that. We have people that meet up
Mm.
just to cope with
Mm.
this struggle that they're facing. And I would say that if you're going through this,
Mm.
there's communities that are out there.
Yeah.
They have schools, they have what is this, places that you're from, like Kandavu.
Yeah.
If you're from Yale, they have Tonga, Samoa. They have so many communities, groups. You just have to reach out to them
Yeah.
and join these communities. But for Gloria, like, I would say, like, it was pretty
Yeah.
different.
Like I mentioned in the first episode, how
Mhm.
I struggled with like as soon as I moved here and going straight into school, like
Yeah.
trying to find myself, trying to fit in the trends, and looking for my own set of
Mm-hmm.
friends. Uh, so it wasn't easy, and I would say like I wasn't as like I mentioned, I wasn't as close to God as I was before.
Yeah.
I was like I had like in Fiji I was already like having my own set of comforts of the world. Like
Yeah.
I was doing this and that,
Mhm.
just trying to like I was living in the moment.
You're
Like
living in the moment. Yeah.
and like not saying it's a bad thing, but
Yeah, because like you're still young. You know what
yeah,
I mean? You're still young.
like sometimes it takes a few mistakes just to make you realize what you're actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through that. Then I came to the States and going through those struggles,
Mm-hmm.
um, losing friends, losing
Mm-hmm.
families, losing relationships,
Mm-hmm.
losing my sense of self. Because
Yeah.
I, like in Fiji, I was, like, I would say I'm like completely different person from how I was
Completely
back then.
different. Mm-hmm.
Um, like isolating myself, like no one to turn to,
Yeah.
like no shade to anyone. Because
Yeah.
I was like I know I ghosted some
Yeah.
people, but
No, because like if you think about it, not everyone has a person to turn to. If you
mm-hmm.
can't turn to these communities, this
Yeah,
you have your own way of
yeah,
coping with these things. Yeah.
yeah. So I not being able to turn to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just in my room. I
Yeah.
was just in my room. I was just thinking of all these things,
Mm-hmm.
and we have the Bible at home.
Mm-hmm.
We hardly opened the like we weren't as close as to God as we were before,
Yeah.
as we are now.
Mm-hmm.
So I just closed my eyes. I just
Mm-hmm.
started praying.
Mm-hmm.
I just started crying my thoughts out, crying
Mm-hmm.
everything, putting everything out.
Mm-hmm.
After releasing so much build up in yourself,
Yeah.
you feel like this peace after.
Yeah.
Like you
This
just
burden off your chest.
yeah, like it makes you realize like you don't have to carry it all alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can just throw it all like just throw it out there and it'll just whether it'll haunt you when it comes back to you, but
Mm-hmm.
just throw it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Just let it sit there
Mm-hmm.
and continue.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
I
Turn to God.
turned to God.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't like I knew I couldn't like hold back onto
Mm-hmm.
the things that I was holding
Yeah.
onto, like old memories or old relationships or
Trauma.
past trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew I couldn't, so I turned to God, and I am
Mm-hmm.
so grateful because I started the church community. We go to the same church in
Yeah.
Napa.
Mm-hmm.
It was really great,
Yeah.
like a great
It's
community.
such a great community. You feel like
Hmm.
they make you feel like home.
Mm,
And that's a great thing about finding your church.
yeah.
Because it's I mean, obviously we come from multicultural,
Mm,
country. In Fiji, we have Christianity. 60, like almost 70% of the nation is Christian, and then you have Muslims, you have Hindus, and then
mm,
there's many more.
yeah.
So us, like finding our church was
Mm,
our like our way of what is this? Oh, I think our way of like coping with it, like
Mm-hmm.
our way of belonging, and then we were able to find like
Yeah.
ourselves
Like I
again.
found like turning to God was like it just brought me peace, and
Yeah.
that's how I coped with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if I didn't wasn't able to talk to someone in school,
Yeah.
like if I still had like anxiety issues,
Yeah.
like after school ends, like I'll forget about it.
Yeah.
Like I'll just say, if it didn't happen, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I graduated high school with a
Mm-hmm.
great experience.
Yeah.
Like maybe my junior year wasn't that great, but
Yeah.
senior year it
It
was
was, yeah,
better.
it was
Yeah,
much better
like
because you found
yeah,
your way through that loneliness.
yeah. And I was also like, it's important again. Talk to someone.
Yeah.
Don't keep anything
Mm-hmm.
like in yourself. Just like talk to people
Mm-hmm.
and don't close yourself off.
Yeah.
Like you can't just like I
You
know it's
have to
so
try. Like,
easy.
yeah,
Like
the thing is,
yeah,
like, you have to try. So basically,
yeah,
what Gloria is trying to say is, like, in with with finding
mm,
herself, like, within Christianity, like, she also found that it's okay to talk to people, like,
mm,
to open up to your siblings, open up to your parents. If it's not someone at home, open up to your cousins, open
yeah,
up to your friends, people that you trust,
yeah,
someone that you can lean on, especially during this time of loneliness, because it's not something easy that
mm-hmm,
people can go through, because we as Pacific Islanders tend to hold ourselves,
mm,
like I would say, like strong-headed. Like,
yeah,
we often think that we can take on all those emotions. We don't want to discuss those emotions at all, but it's very real. We
mm,
go through these things, and it's okay.
yeah,
And then we often see that in our with our parents as well, within our elders, that they often go through things, and they don't discuss it enough.
mm,
And then that's and because we found an audience where it's not it's a diverse audience here on
mm,
Beyond the Reef. We have people that are like our age, people that are still in school, adults,
mm-hmm.
that are seeing us discuss topics that
They
they
could relate to.
yeah, that they relate to, that they don't get to share with with their peers, and then we want to be able to discuss those,
Mm,
with you guys, so you know that you're not alone.
yeah,
So yeah, so if you feel like you're ever lonely, um
talk to someone.
talk to someone, join these communities.
Yes.
And just like Jojo had
Mm-hmm.
mentioned earlier, you have to be able to branch out,
Mm-hmm.
get out of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
go into communities, make friends, talk to
Mm.
people at work,
And
talk to your classmates.
yeah, like it can get difficult
Yeah.
trying to like stay in your own bubble,
Yeah.
but once you start opening up and
Mm-hmm.
talking to people and being able to find yourself with
Yeah.
others, it'll bring something like valuable with
Yeah,
you.
it brings something valuable. And the thing is, you've already identified the issue, and you would feel proud of yourself to knowing that you've already tried.
Mm,
You've tried to make a connection, you've tried to make new friends,
mm,
and you feel great at the end of the day because you're stepping out of your comfort zone. And that's something that I feel as we, like, we young women, we young men, like, often find very difficult to step out of our comfort zone, because we are so used to so many things
mm,
as Pacific Islanders, as as Fijian
yeah.
youth. We're so used to norms, normal things that are like that we are so used to on our day-to-day lives. So when
Mm,
these things are like introduced to us, like, go out and make new friends, go out and
yeah.
try a new spot. How about you take like a new, like, choose a career path? No, go out and do something, do
Mm,
something different. Just because, at the end of the day, you never know that it would take away that feeling of loneliness. You can find yourself, like, and it's okay.
yeah.
It's fine. And we found that in Jaden and Navi, they were able to go beyond the reef, be able to find themselves with volleyball, with
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 football
football, and it's something that they want to pursue, and we love to see that in young people. That's the great thing about it. And yeah, so that's one thing that we want to discuss,
mm,
loneliness. And also, to continue the topic, the second thing that we also saw
mm,
within the 3 episodes is the fear of starting over.
yeah.
Yeah. And I would say this is very common with
I mean, yeah,
uh
like when you move to another country, you'll be starting over like
starting
a new
over.
life again.
Yeah. And I would say for our for our younger siblings, for younger people, I would say it's mostly like for school.
Mm,
They're scared to make new friends.
mm,
They're scared, on what to wear, like, on the first day of school.
yeah.
And with Jaden and Navi,
Hmm.
and because we were both in school at the time,
Yeah.
it was just the fear of like getting to know new people, whether
Mm.
we would fit in because we are Pacific Islanders.
Mhm.
If we'd fit in, whether they would accept us because
Mhm.
we felt as if
Yeah.
probably you didn't fit the program.
Mm.
But that's something that we did see
Mhm.
within these three, with these three episodes,
Yeah.
and with Jojo as well. We got from his last episode that it was um more so of the fear of in like within the fear of starting over, in the sense where he was more worried about whether he made the right choice,
Yeah.
made the right choice to move over. And as you get older, like with our youth,
Mm.
you start to have that fear of your own, like
Mm-mm.
you start to wonder the same things.
Yeah.
Like, and you'd see that in your parents as well,
Mm.
you often see that, and it's
Like how you mentioned, like
mhm,
Jojo, like in
yeah,
caregiving, um, like he didn't see himself like in his
exactly,
future, like looking after someone.
yeah,
Like he had like all these dreams of doing this and doing that,
yeah,
not what he had expected.
yeah,
But
when he
that's also what my parents went through.
yeah, and that's something very common within what is this, I wouldn't even say just the Pacific community, but for immigrants,
Mm.
people that move over in a whole different country, they start
Yeah.
all over again. You have
Mm.
to expect that, there's that,
Hustle.
yeah, that hustle, that fear, and that's, that's okay. But with that, you have to be able to talk to someone about it. You
Mm-hmm.
have to be able to talk to your kids,
Mm.
be able to share that experience with them, so they know that it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
we're starting over, it's
Mm.
fine, but we'll get through this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would say that's something that I like me and my siblings had gone through as well,
Mm.
but because my parents were so, like, I mean, hustle culture here in the United States, it's
Mm.
very
It's
it's a thing.
yeah.
People are working 24/7. You tend to ignore like all
Mm.
the like your issues, but you're scared. But I would say it's go for it.
Yeah.
And when it came to Jaden, I remember like when she started off high school, she was very scared, of starting, because she was so introverted.
Mm.
But because I had already gone through these emotions,
Mm-hmm.
I had to find myself also as well. I thought, like, just go for it. I joined her when it came to finding sports, and I let her know, like, it's okay, go and find something that you want to do it, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
okay. So she had to force herself to, like, find a sport, and she's very good at it. She
Mm.
found it, and she's doing great. And that's okay. Going from very introverted, starting off to a sport that she doesn't even know, and doing something that she's really good at. It's the beauty of seeing the
Mm.
progress. It's never too late to try, but it also comes with that fear of starting over.
Mm.
you know so because I've gone through that, I'm able to, like, walk my sibling through that
Mm.
as well. And then the same thing with my sister as well, going, from Fiji to the United States, and then moving over to San Diego and starting over with her partner. It's the small things they go through, like certain struggles. They
Mm.
go through things together as a couple, but then that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
They're able to build
Yeah.
together. And I see that as well, like, with Gloria, with the Gloria and her siblings. It's not easy.
Mm.
It's never easy for anyone,
Mm.
but it's something that we can manage. We
Mm-hmm.
can manage, and we can discuss as, like, as a family. So I would suggest, like, probably families, like, if you're watching this, parents, like, talk about it with your kids,
Mm.
so they would understand, like, what that they're not going
Yeah.
through it. You're not going through it, like, alone, and it's
Mm.
okay.
Mm.
Yeah. And I mean, like, have you ever, like, gone through that with your siblings as well, like having that sense of fear, like, being scared, like starting over?
I would say we didn't have like a. I know we would say
Hmm.
like we would share like some of the things we were struggling through,
Yeah.
and like I know like with my mom,
Yeah.
like after going through so much loss, like I was in so much self pity,
Yeah.
and she knew what I was going through, and
Hmm.
she kept telling me, "You
Yeah.
can't keep doing this to yourself.
Yeah.
You can't keep looking back to the past. You have
Hmm.
to look forward into the future because you're not in Fiji anymore.
Yeah.
You're in the States."
Hmm.
And that's something that has really taught me, and I feel like she also like she also tells herself that
Yeah.
because whenever she gets an opportunity to go to Fiji,
Yeah.
she's like she's yet
Yeah,
to go.
let's
She's
go.
really excited. And yeah, with my siblings though, I would say they teach me more.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know, like it's like I'm the eldest sibling,
Mm-hmm.
and like like I'm supposed to set example for them. Eh?
Yeah.
Um, but, you know, like seeing them how they cope with things here, like
Yeah.
that they taught me like
Mm-hmm.
they've done. You know, they're also going through the same thing as me,
Yeah.
and like my sec my second son, my brother, he's second oldest,
Yeah.
and he's so mature.
Yeah.
Like he's done like we were going through the same thing,
Yeah.
and he was like he had this mentality to just, you know, like he can't keep doing this like to himself, like my
Yeah.
mom was telling him,
Yeah.
and he was able to like branch, like open himself
Yeah.
up to other people. He was
Yeah.
able to make friends,
Yeah.
and you know, like I would usually see him go
Mm-hmm.
to his classes
Yeah.
like with his friends,
Yeah.
and you know that would so
It's
sorry,
okay,
that
girl.
would make me
It's
so
a safe
happy,
space.
and that's what I'm really proud about.
Yeah.
And my younger brother
Mm-hmm.
Navi,
Yeah.
he also went through the same thing.
Yeah.
How he like he shared like his first day of school, like
Yeah.
us like trying to talk to this one of
This
his
kid, like, yeah,
classmates.
he thought that he was a seventh grader.
Yeah, and he like the guy didn't even like acknowledge
Respond to
him,
him.
or
Yeah.
and um and you know, like thinking I was in so much self pity,
Yeah.
and thinking like I couldn't, like, you know, be there for them,
Yeah.
and oh my gosh, like I know, like you would think I would be the
Yeah.
one comforting them, but
Yeah.
seeing them like, you know,
Grew
being able,
so much through
yeah,
that. Okay, guys. So sorry. Just need to take a breather. Yeah, take
we
a
just
breather.
need to have some emotional break.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall I am very, you know, I love my siblings so much, and I'm grateful for them
Mhm.
and how much they've taught me,
Mhm.
and general how
Yeah.
to be a better person.
Yeah. So, like, back onto the topic, like, this fear of starting over, you see, your siblings, you see family, and it's something that we can't control. It's
Mm.
it's it's human nature. You're moving over to a different country, and you're seeing these things. You see, seeing your family, even yourself, like, you're scared to overcome like this
Mm-hmm.
challenge. This whole thing, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna start all over again.
Mm.
I don't know whether I want to take the next step, and it's overwhelming. That just like the fear of like, being lonely. You start to worry. You start to get depressed, and it's just like this cycle.
Mm.
And I was just talking to, like, this person that's very close to me the other day about how um being at this age, and then you're wanting to start over with a different, like, completely different career path.
Mm.
And then she had told me that it's never, like, who told you that it's too late?
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
never too late to, like, to start over. Especially when you're overseas,
Mm.
you're in the land of opportunities. You can always do something. We have people that are in caregiving that want to start over, that, going into the military. It's fine.
Mm.
Do it.
It's your life.
It's your life. We have people that are in caregiving, or we have people that are in the military that want to
Mm.
come out and they want to try like a civilian job. It's fine.
Mm.
Okay, like, it's completely fine. That's your life. That's the beauty of it. You've identified that you're starting over. It's okay to go through it, but just push through with your goal.
Mm.
Push through with your goal, and it's never too
Too
late.
late.
It's never
Yeah.
too late. And that's one thing that I would say, that I'm very proud of our, like, I'm very proud of our parents. Especially moving to America, especially at that age. You have kids that are already in high school,
Mm.
and you are trying to start, completely
Mm.
all over again. you know you have a completely new environment, exposed to completely different things, new jobs. Because I would say, like, our parents, have
Yeah.
completely different careers. From working at the bank and then doing something else now.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that hustle, you see that they're so committed to giving, their kids,
Yeah.
like, a brand new life. and that's the commitment that we want to be able to share with our share with our audience and Beyond the Reef. Like, it's not only the like that fear of starting over. It's to push us to do better, not only for ourselves but for our kids, for the future.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So, go for it.
Mm.
Do it. Do what you're like.
Do what your heart tells you
Do what your
to
heart
do.
desires.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that we had identified. That fear of starting over. And the next one, the third and final one, would be probably finding yourself,
Mm.
finding yourself here in the United
Like
States. Like, yeah,
selflessness.
like finding yourself, and I would say it's very challenging
Mm.
because when you come over to a new country, you tend to want to fit into like different things. You're trying out different stuff. You get lost in between, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like
I don't know.
you're so overwhelmed, and then you start to make wrong choices. You start to like fall back into things that you never
Mm.
want. You promised that you're
Not to
never
go
gonna
back
gonna
to.
to go back to. You want to start anew,
Mm.
but you continue to fall back on that. And then that's exactly what we discussed with Jojo,
Mm.
with myself and Gloria.
Mm.
Finding yourself it's very hard, and especially it's unique to see, especially with youths. Jaden and Avi are still in high school, and they discussed how they were trying to find themselves. You think that kids will be able to fit in just fine with in school because they're
Mm.
still young,
Mm.
they're exposed to the environment, but they're kids.
Yeah.
But then you don't know that it'll take them a while to try and fit in,
Mm.
you know and I would say that that was like us, like here as well. Like it took us like I would say not even months, like like years,
Yeah.
not till we got to work. And just it ties back to the other two topics you have to try,
Mm.
and like with fighting yourself. Like I would say, like what causes it the most is because you often sulk in that,
Mm.
you sulk in that,
Feeling sorry for
feeling sorry of
yourself.
yourself, like and you miss home too much. You completely miss the whole point
Mm.
of moving over and
New.
starting new. Okay, like you completely miss the point, and you keep sulking in that. Not that it's not okay. Like it's okay. Like it's okay to miss home.
Yeah,
Like
but it's
we
not okay for you to indulge in it
yeah,
for a
like for
long
you to
time.
continue to sulk in that. Like it's okay to go through that, but you should be able to move on
Mm.
and start new, branch out, do something that makes you completely happy. And then that's like I said, that's what causes you to to
Mm.
sit in that,
Pity.
yeah,
Pity puddle.
that pity puddle, like for the longest time.
Mm.
And I would say the longer that people do sit in that,
It
they
affects them.
they tend to lose themselves.
Mm.
They continue to,
Like they have no excitement in
it's
what's
like
so
it's like
much.
a cycle.
Mm.
Like we often see here that most people have the same cycle from from their home countries, and they repeat it here,
Mm.
in like the country that they tend to like move over to. Like it's supposed to be a brand new start, but they move the same cycle over to that new country. Just like how Jojo said earlier, in a previous episode, we want to be able to branch out and try new things, right? You don't want to be too comfortable too long in the same place.
Mm.
If you're like doing caregiving, and you decide to do, like you go into the military, or if you're in
Mm.
you know if you're in the military and you want to go back to school, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it, because it's fine, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to find yourself. You have to
Mm.
find what's comfortable. And just like how Gloria was talking about earlier, like one of our cousins, like her brother Junior, he he never stops trying new things. And
Mm.
that's something that I'm very proud of him, because he never stops trying.
Mm.
Like when we first moved here, he tried, like how we wanted to have an episode with him to discuss his journey, but it was very hard for him to, because I mean, he didn't want to, he didn't feel comfortable, and that's fine. But he continues to try to do new things. Like, for example,
Art
Junior
student.
is an art student. Junior is Gloria's brother. She's second after Gloria. And with Gloria, she wants to pursue like
Medicine.
medicine. Navi was in our previous episode, and he wants to pursue football, like in sports. But with Junior, it's very different, because he's still trying to find himself, and he sees himself doing something completely different.
Different.
yeah, like pursuing the arts, and you wonder like what does that mean? If you're watching from Fiji, you're watching from the UK, you're watching from New Zealand, what does that mean? Junior is an art student, and he doesn't only draw.
Mm-hmm.
He
He acts.
he
He
acts, he
sings.
sings, and it doesn't stop there. He like I'm not even
Mm-hmm.
kidding. We didn't even know that he was acting, and then he invited us to his acting.
His play
His play. He invited us, and he did so good for something that he just
started
he just started
doing.
doing. And then throughout the summer, you expect people to just take a break, relax, and that's your summer. It's
Mm-hmm.
you take a break completely off from school. This is supposed to be your vacation mode turned on, but no. What Junior decided to do was go into singing classes. That's the dedication where you see someone
Who's
um,
so invested
in
in their
in
future.
their future. This whole thing where you're trying to find
Mm.
yourself. It doesn't just stop there. Like you
Mm.
have this expectation you're supposed to do this. No, he knows what he wants to do and he wants to pursue it. He'll move it even further.
Mm.
And that's something that I want to see in our youth more. Like keep going. You don't just stop there. Keep going.
Mm.
Try something new. If this doesn't work out for you, try something else because we want to be able to see our young Pacific youth, our Fijian youth, like go beyond just like our podcast, go beyond the reef, go beyond their limits because when you look back at it, you want to be able to make your parents proud, you want to make yourself proud, you know so don't let social norms, don't let people of society, don't let peer pressure
Mm.
stop you from pursuing your dreams.
Becoming like the person you.
Yeah, that you're meant to be.
Mm.
If you know that you're supposed to be an actor, you're supposed to be a singer, you're supposed to be a doctor, go for it. Okay, do not just stop. Don't just stop there at where you are. Keep going, keep trying to pursue whatever you want to do.
Mm.
Right. And I'm so glad and I'm so grateful that we've had these conversations with our parents.
Mm.
We've had open conversations about pursuing our dreams.
Mm.
And that's something that we want for like our audience as well. Share this with your siblings,
Mm.
share this with your cousins, share this with your mom and dad. you know um don't be scared. Talk about this. This is
Mm.
something that that we can, it's like a cultural thing that we can break.
Mm.
It's something that we want to be able to
See more
yeah, see
in.
more with our youth. Like there's a lot of things that we see nowadays in Fiji. There's youths that are trying different things. They have not rallies, but they have like
Bash.
no, no, it's like more so like I think they do it's more for awareness.
Oh, awareness, like.
So there's I completely lost train of thought, but we see a lot of our youths now getting involved with so many different things. It's so unique to see because you usually see them here in the United States or in Australia or New Zealand or in the UK, but they're exposed to those things, but you don't see the majority doing it. Just a small group, but we want to push our youth to be able to do
Mm.
more. Get out of your comfort zone. And that's just like it ties back to finding yourself. Over here it was very hard for us in the beginning, but because we were able to learn that you have to branch out.
Mm.
Get don't get too comfortable, do things. Get out of your comfort zone and do stuff. And
Yeah.
that's here on Beyond the Reef, we wanted to share that with you guys, and we're so grateful to like share our journeys. Um with Gloria, how she shared her journey like with religion, and with our previous episodes. There's so many stories about families moving, individuals moving from the Pacific to overseas. Like it's hard. It's
Mm.
not easy.
Mm.
It's a very very difficult journey. Not only for our parents but for like for the children as well. And it's a cycle that we want to break because we want to talk about these issues. Talk about these issues even more so we can create awareness.
Mm.
Because it's a safe space. And just like how we mentioned in the beginning, this episode is dedicated to reflecting over the stories that we've shared with like our guests.
Yeah.
Just like how Jojo shared, in his previous episode. It's a very unique journey. It's very new. How the career path, because Gloria is very familiar with Jojo. She's seen
Mm-hmm.
um his switching career path, taking that step forward and moving over by himself. It's a bold move, a bold choice, and to do that especially at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
We want to reflect and go back onto this topic because we don't want our youth to stop there. We want them to be able to Go after,
Mm.
follow their dreams, keep moving forward. And if it's not meant for you, it's fine. You can do,
Mm.
you can do something else. And it's
Mm.
okay.
And like Jojo said, it was like a blessing to him.
It was a
And
blessing to
yeah.
him. And with Jaden and Navi as well, you see them as, introverted kids. Navi not so much. She is very much extroverted. You know him, he's very happy child. I mean, until now, I don't know what his
He's just in his own world.
but you see that growth within your, with your siblings, with these three topics, with loneliness, with the fear of starting over,
Mm.
and with trying to find yourself, especially in a new country. They've progressed so much, especially, you
Mm.
know for as young people,
Mm-hmm.
because Jojo moved here in his early
Yeah,
20s.
yeah.
Jaden and Navi moved here when they were in, middle school and elementary school. We moved here when we were in high school. And it's a topic that we don't discuss with our families every day, but it's,
Something we. That's why we made this podcast.
yeah, that's
So
why
we can.
exactly why we made this podcast, because we've gone through it. We're still going through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for me and Gloria and I were talking about this earlier. She openly said that she's still trying to find herself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm still trying to find myself. In all honesty, we're still trying to
Navigate our way through
navigate,
life.
yeah, our way through life, and that's okay. That's fine.
Mm.
And that's the whole point of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's to reflect and go through this with you guys, because you're not alone. you
Mm.
you could probably be 25, you could probably be 16, 17, 18, and you're still trying to find yourself, and you're still trying to navigate, and that's
Okay.
okay, and that's fine. Okay, and because here on Beyond the Reef, it's supposed to be a safe space, and we want to let you know that you are not alone. Okay.
And you're able to share those stories with
Mm-hmm.
us. We were able to maybe talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
or have you come on and you speak on what you experience,
Yeah.
and we'll be happy to
we,
listen.
yeah, we want to be able to share your journey as well. You could message us on Facebook. We have our Facebook, we have our Instagram. Inbox us on our Instagram.
Mm.
Communicate with us through our YouTube, because
Mm-hmm.
most of our audience is on YouTube. And please, whenever on our YouTube, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Interact with us.
Yes.
Because we want to be able to share your journey with our audience as
Mm.
well. And that's the
Yeah.
beauty of it here on Beyond the Reef. Okay, guys, thank you
Thank
so
you so
much
much,
for
guys.
joining us on this lovely episode. We have, more videos coming next week
Mm-hmm.
as we share a completely different topic, because
Mm-hmm.
this is where we end Culture
Yes.
Shock, and we want to thank you all so much.
For your love and support.
Love and support. We are so grateful for you all.
Mhm.
So please have a great week, and make sure to keep going.
Beyond the Reef.
Bye bye.